Hello, welcome to the Alex Lovehall, the Fighting Gamer. It's me, Alex Lovehall, the Fighting Gamer. I'm a real person. I know you probably don't see my face on here a lot. However, as you can see, I moved. I don't have the same lighting structure I had before. I also don't have a hoodie on, so we're trying something a little different. Because everybody liked the Golden Age of Fighting Game videos so much, right? I appreciate you all for giving it love, support, hate, comments, whatever. And in a Discord that I'm in, they do a thing where they make a fighting game tier list. I figured right now is a perfect time to record my process of ranking this list. I don't even know what games are on this list anymore. I'm not gonna waste any of your time. We're just gonna get into it right now. Like I said, first game on the list, we're gonna do Guilty Gear Plus R. Now, this is a game, I actually really like it. I'm not very good at it, but if I had to pick one of the anime, well, I call them air dashers personally. If I pick an air dasher game to promote, it'd be this one. This one is still the old game. It has a lot of character depth, a lot of system balance. Presentation is nice. You can pick different versions of the characters, different color, and it's still getting support. I got rollback netcode. This is a perfect example of how to bring an old game back into the new age, but still keep the old game alive, and you still have the new game right here to the side. That way, if you don't want to play Plus R, Strive is here. Also, XR is right there in the middle too. Our System Works in that respect, doing a great job. Honestly, I'll put it in best for now. Could change, could not change. I've never really played All-Star Brawl. I don't really like it. I'm not the biggest Smash player in the world anyway, but if I was, I would only play the Ninja Turtles in this game anyway, so not really a game I'm truly caring about. Cross Tag, I'm not a big fan. Had a lot of potential. Let me move it up here, that way we're not getting spoiled by all the choices, right? It's clear, it's concise. But again, I played Cross Tag. I wasn't really a big fan of the way that the motions felt and the way that they tried to do the whole cross tag in terms of like the mechanics, and it had great ideas. They did not come together super well, and to be honest, in terms of the franchise, I really care about none of them. Ruby might have been the one I knew the most out of all of them. However, since Monty died, ever since they kept the show going, it's not really what it needs to be, so not gonna think too hard about it. Moving on. Now, I liked multiverses as a concept. I'll put it in good. When I was playing it, in terms of the Smash games that aren't Smash that I played, I can put multiverses there. I had fun. I didn't like how they had the constant patches. I didn't like how they had the constant reworks. I didn't necessarily like the fact that it was free to play, but as a game itself, as a concept, I was more of a 1v1 player anyway. You know what? It'll go in meh. I don't absolutely love it, but I don't absolutely hate it either. So, it'll go right there. I don't even know what this is, so that's gone. Now, this is a game, again, I haven't really played it. I like what I have played. For Melty Blood, I believe that's Actress again, I think. But again, I haven't really played it enough to really say I like it or I don't like it, but it would be a game that I would try if I had the chance to try it. Tekken 8 is a game I have played. And honestly, same deal. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make a new category. Here we go. Hold on. I just not thought of this. Bam. There we go. Oh, I actually needed to make another category. Okay. So I guess we'll just do this. We'll call this meh or eh. Reason why I put it in modern game is because if you look at the game for what it is, you can enjoy that for what it is. It can be a fun time for you. But, again, like Tekken 8, I've been playing Tekken for a very long time. I've played damn near all the Tekkens at this point. And when you look at Tekken 8 in comparison of what Tekken used to be and what it could be in the future, it's not it. Now, if Tekken was better at having its older games available with online play, maybe I wouldn't have such a divisive opinion about it. I don't hate the game. But again, I have to look at it as what game it is versus what game it could be. I'm not the biggest fan of the heat mechanic. I don't like the overabundance of stances that they gave every character. I'm not the biggest fan of super simplifying any legacy game for that matter. Simplicity is fine. Compromise is not. So Tekken 8 right now is going to be in the modern game category. What's next? This is a game I have a history with this game. When I was 2012, 2013 when the original one came out. I had a bad situation when I played this game and I didn't like it. I don't really like Persona that much as a franchise, so I don't care about it from that perspective. And as a game, it's okay. Like, I don't really hate it. Well, no, actually, I'm not the biggest fan of needing the Persona and doing all that, have the assist / stance and all that. Not really a big fan, but admittedly, I have not played the game since 2012, so I'm gonna put it in where I probably could retry it in a modern day and see if I really like it currently as I am now. But I have no big interest to go back and go play it. Breaker's Revenge, oh yeah, it's simple. It's going in best tier. This is actually one of the most fun, most freeform, most artistically potent, it's a very good game. A lot of people should really try it. If you like a game that gives you very good feedback, very good control, the characters feel distinct, but they also work within the system. Now again, it is an older game, so I'm sure the balance design can sometimes fall short to some people. However, I really think that Breaking Revenge, I believe it's an SNK game, is one of their underrated games, and I'm glad it's got a re-release. And honestly, it's a game that more people should play. Alpha 3, it's not trash. No. I'm going to say it's great. I'm going to say it's great only because, well, we're going to spoil alert this. I think Alpha 2 is way better. I think Alpha 2 is the shining example of what Alpha can be. I think Alpha 3 is a great game and offers a lot of different ways to play, and it offers a lot of different character variety and system balance. However, I think some of the changes they made, like the fireballs into other systems, like I believe the Vism and other things like that, don't always necessarily work well in its favor. Again, I don't hate Alpha 3. It's probably the most popular one. If I had to pick one Alpha game to go in my best of all time, I'd put Alpha 2 where it's at, because I prefer the way the game flows, I prefer the way the system mechanics work, the way the characters are designed, the way the graphics look, even though, again, CPS2, the soundtrack is way better in Alpha 2 than Alpha 3. That's not even, look at the cover art, let's just be honest. Alpha 2's cover art is iconic, Alpha 3's is very collage, not bad, just Alpha 2 overall is better. I don't hate Power Rangers. I don't actively play it. It's one of those games where I love the IP, and it's a game you think I would like. However, it feels very stiff to move and do combos. It feels like it feels like a dial-up combo the whole game. Like, if you know how to move, and you know the sequence, and you know your buttons, that can make it smooth. But when you first jump in and try to learn it, it feels very stilted, very stiff, very segmented. Again, don't hate the game. I like it better than I like Persona. I'll put it in the modern game section. It's not really there, but we'll put it in good, because I don't hate the game. I don't actively play it, but I would play it again, and I would have to lab and learn the game. But it's not an F. Again, hold on. I love Samurai Shodown 2019. Most modern SNK is the only company. I should really make sure y'all can actually hear me. I have no clue. Just in case, we're gonna move this back, because I don't want to do this because then it's gonna be way too loud. So we're gonna put it right here. Hopefully you can hear me. I don't know. Probably should have tested it out beforehand, but we live and we learn, right? So let's just put this here. This will work. Anyway, as I was saying, Samurai Shodown 2019. This game, SNK is really good at making modern fighting games that still have their old school legacy. I love that they were able to bring back Samurai Shodown. They were able to keep the very, I'm gonna say, very defensive, very one touch. You gotta read your opponent. You gotta read the moves. You gotta commit to the move aspect. Very neutral defense heavy aspect. Game is attacked, and honestly the character roster is great. They have guest characters, they have a lot of the classic staples that you would expect, they have a lot of the different art style, or the very distinct art style that SNK is kind of known for in today's age, both good and bad. Honestly, just overall, is it my favorite Samurai Shodown? I don't know. It's definitely on the top 3 for sure, but overall, we'll see what other Samurai Shodown games are here. Street Fighter V, I'm gonna put it in, that's not really modern anymore. I'm gonna put it in good, because I gotta think of what's coming before it and what's coming after. Like, I would play Street Fighter V before I probably play Tekken 8, right? Probably play Street Fighter V before I play modern Multiverses. You can't even play Multiverses anymore, so that's out. But in terms of games that I would play, I'd probably play other Street Fighters before I play this one. And current Street Fighter V Champion Edition, or the last season, really fixed a lot of the problems that Street Fighter V was having. So this current version is not a terrible game. But if you were there the entire time, the entire process, that's where some of the lactic acid, some of the buildup, some of the vitriol, some of the issues that this game has, right? Well, currently as it stands, it's not a bad game, but it's not an active game that's in development either. I've never played Rushdown Revolt. I don't know what it is. I don't really care. I've never played Punch Planet. I like the girl in the left with the afro thingy, but again, I've never played it. I've only heard about it. Don't care. I like Rivals of Aether community, like the community mods where you can have the, people can make characters and put them in, but they don't even have Rivals of Aether 1 anymore. They have 2, and I don't know if they have that yet. So as a Rivals game, not a game I've really taken seriously or played a lot. I've played it, but, Same, literally, Brawl 2 is the same as Brawl 1. Never played it. I don't really care. I don't know what this is. Blade Strangers? I have heard of it, but I've never played it. Okay, so. Again, same deal. I recently played DOA 6 again for personal reasons, and I enjoy the game more than I did. However, it's still not my favorite DOA game, and it's not a great representation of what the series could be. That could be its own video. I don't want to bog this video down, but just know when DOA 6 is being played, you can't really play it like older DOAs, or at least in my opinion, it doesn't feel as good or look as good as older DOAs, even if the gameplay, I think DOA 6's gameplay probably the closest in the modern age to what past was, but it's not a good version or a good interpretation of what the past was, if that makes sense. But we'll see what other games is on here. King of Fighters 2000, I never played that version. I do like KOF. Again, I'm going to put this right here. I played the game. I liked it for what it was. However, again, I'm not the biggest Melty Blood player. So I don't really have as much legacy to talk about on this one, right? It's kind of like I played it. I liked what I played. However, when I'm looking at like the shield mechanic and some of the other ways it goes, I'm like, ooh, I can see how they made it a little bit easier for everybody. However, in this case, I am the target audience that they're trying to get to, and they got me to play it, so I get it, right? Dead or Alive 2, this is the best game in DOA. To be honest, it's between 2, 3, and 4, but if I had to pick one, DOA 2, that's my favorite one. I love the look, I love the stages, I love the music, I love the character models, I love the gameplay. This is what DOA needs to be. If they brought back just one DOA game in like a rollback or like a new re-release collection, whatever, pick that one. If you couldn't do DOA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you just had to pick one, pick 2. Promise you, that's the best one. This is like the culmination of what this series could, should, and would, and was. DOA 2 was it. I don't really care about Blaze Blue. If this is the central fiction of the latest one, played it. I don't hate it, but I'm not a Blaze Blue fan. I prefer Guilty Gear over Blaze Blue. And I know that's like a whole thing in the community. If you like one, you don't like the other. Yeah, over here, you're right. I'm more of a Guilty Gear player than a Blaze Blue player, right? Mortal Kombat 11, I didn't hate it, but I'm not a Mortal Kombat player. I liked some of it. It kind of tried to make itself more 2D than not. Try to make itself less Mortal Kombat-y than not. But again, I kind of stopped taking Mortal Kombat seriously after 9. I never even played 10. And from what I heard about 10, or I guess X, that would be the one I would like the most, but I never really played it. So speaking of X, putting that never played. Like I said, I like Scorpion, I like Sub-Zero. I don't actively play the game. Tekken Tag, it is a good game because it represents what I like in Tekken, but I'm just not good at the game yet to like it. Sorry, my dog is sleeping next to me, so I had to see if her snoring would, brought up on the mic. But anyway, Tekken Tag 2, or not Tag 2, sorry, Tag 1 is a great game. The balance, you could argue, is not great, probably not. But the way the game flows, the way the game plays, the way that the stages, the way the character roster is literally damn near everybody from the series in that point, even Angel. It's just overall it's a very good Tekken experience, and I actually do want to try to take some time to learn how to play that game, because if I learn how to play that game, I'll probably be able to play other Tekkens better. But it's like I said, it's a game I never really grew up with, but from what I've played, I don't hate it. Right now, Skullgirls is a game similar to Persona. When I was playing it, I had some bad situations with online friends and some not online friends at the time that made me not like the game. Now, looking at the game itself, it's not a bad game, and I probably should put the camera right here, only because I can see that that's going to be blocking the bottom very soon. So, as I was saying, Skullgirls is probably going to be a game I'm not going to go back to try. I love the art style, I love the character design, I like the mainly women roster. That's all good. It's just when people kept trying to say this is like Marvel or this is Marvel in a better age, it's like, no, this is not Marvel. It's a game like it, but it's not Marvel. Kind of like when people try to say Chris Brown is Michael Jackson. It's like, no, he's not Michael Jackson. He's just this era's Michael Jackson, or he's a very comparable artist to Michael Jackson, but he's not replacing him. Same with Usher, same with Justin Timberlake, same with Justin Bieber. But this is not a music video. This is a fighting game video. We're gonna stick to that. Mortal Kombat 9. If I had to pick a Mortal Kombat that I've actually played, again, I don't really ever plan on going back to this game. I don't really care about the game. I don't really like the game. But I like the ninjas. Right? I like the Mortal Kombat ninjas and Liu Kang. So, you know, if I had to pick Mortal Kombat games to play, it'd probably be these over the other ones we're not going to mention unless they come up. But I'm not the biggest Mortal Kombat guy. Killer Instinct, never really played it. I heard a lot about it. I didn't really have an Xbox at the time, and I don't really want to play it on PC. I didn't grow up into the Killer Instinct games, so it's not really a game I care about. I have played Chaos Code. Again, I actually like it. Because to be honest, this game has a lot of different options. Like, you could pick run or dash. You could pick this move or this special move, or that move, or this move. You can kind of change your character based on how you want to play at the character select screen, which is something similar to what Alpha 3 and other games like Mortal Kombat 10 and Mortal Kombat 11 and other things like that, which I don't hate that idea. It's just, honestly, I haven't played enough of Chaos Code to really go much further than that. From what I have played, I do actively enjoy it, and I would play and or buy it again. Like I said, this listing is not completely finalized. I'll probably do a section where I redo everything or make sure that the placings are correct. Mortal Kombat Gold, never played it. Soul Calibur 3, it's not my favorite Soul Calibur game. Honestly, it's not bad. The more I'm looking into it, or the more I hear friends talk about it, or the more people mention the community, it just got a re-release, which I'm shocked. I would have re-released 1 or 2, but it's the first game that really introduced character customization, so that plus guest character became Soul Calibur's identity, and honestly, I don't think that franchise has ever recovered from that. Admittedly, it was a good idea, but it just kind of took over the franchise in a way I don't think they expected. EX3, not a good game. I don't like the mechanics. I don't like the way that the perspective works. I don't like the way that the moves are transferred over. It's not an EX game I would play. If there was an EX game I'd play, it would probably be either EX1 or 2. I don't know which one. I haven't really played any of them seriously, but from what I did play, nah, this ain't it. Okay, so I'm gonna say it like this. CVS 2 is a fantastic fighting game. Out of the Capcom Trinity, which is Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Capcom vs. SNK 2, this game is my least favorite / least played. Does not mean it's a bad game. It just means that out of the 3, it'd be the one I rank the lowest. But CVS 2 is probably clearing a lot of other fighting games on this list. Honestly, I damn near want to. There we go. We're gonna put Tag 1 in great. Like, from what I played, even just because I'm bad at it does not mean that the game itself is not good. It just means that I probably need to play it again to enjoy it. It's not in best. I just don't like putting Tag 1 and CVS 2. They should be close, in my opinion. But back to CVS 2. It has 6 grooves. And it has 30 plus characters, so you can literally play any character you want in 6 different groove styles. The gameplay, the system balance, like how the old mechanics kind of work together or sometimes don't work together, that then makes some characters busted, some characters ass. But if you play them a certain way, there's ratio 1 through 4. There's different stages. You got the announcer, you got the music. Come on, Thievish 2 is iconic. That's all I'm saying. There's a reason why when it was re-released recently, everybody lost their mind at that game specifically. That was the Marvel 2 of that game's collection. And to nobody's surprise, Dragon Ball FighterZ is one of the best games. I love that game. I'm a super Dragon Ball fan. I'm not talking about just Dragon Ball Super. I'm talking original, Z, Super, GT, Daima, movies, Heroes. You name it, I've either liked it, watched it, experienced it, or know about it at some point. If I don't, then I'm gonna learn something new today. But I do like how that era, it was essentially what Marvel vs. Capcom was and trying to be, but for a new franchise, which is Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball deserves a fighting game of that caliber, and it hit it out the park. And over time, it's only gotten better. I like the new patch direction, which was just essentially, fuck it, we ball. We just, you do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want, right? I love that patch direction. A lot of people don't, but they seem to forget that they were asking for that like a year or two before it came out. They want the game to play with the mods, whatever. But I remember because I was there. But as I was saying, Dragon Ball FighterZ is one of my favorite games of all time. It's probably one of the games I put the most time into throughout its life, and the game I probably know the most about. Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, since it's my list and I'm not putting a one game for franchise limit, guess what? Marvel 3. Literally, before Fighters, Marvel 3 was it. That was, again, the game I probably put the most time into, cared the most about, was watching the most tournaments, was playing the most. I met the most pro players playing this game. I probably got some of the, probably put more time in the lab in this game and probably Fighters and a lot of other games. If there was a fighting games that shaped who I am, like what Maximilian said, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and the original would probably be on that list. Hard Body Karate. You understand me? I don't know how, it would depend on how many numbers I get on that list, but Marvel 3 is definitely there. I love this game. Love it. Super Smash Ultimate. It's a good game. It's not great to, you know what? I can't lie. If there was ever a Smash game I was ever going to take seriously, it would be Smash Ultimate. I'm not a Nintendo guy. Not mainly. Like, I prefer Sega, Capcom, Namco, SNK, Team Ninja. You name it, it's probably not going to be Nintendo, right? But if we're talking about the Smash game as a whole, gotta say that Smash Ultimate really knocks it apart. The roster is like second to none. The gameplay balance is trying to be in the middle between Melee and not, and that might be to his detriment, but just as a package overall, Smash has got really good casual feel. Right? Competitively, I'm not the biggest competitive Smash player. I didn't really get good at it like that. I tried Melee, didn't really go very far. I decided to vote on fighting games instead, but if I had to pick a Smash game to go this high, it's this and maybe another one if the other game is here. I don't know. Never really played it, but if there was a Street Fighter EX game I'd probably pick, it'd be Street Fighter EX. I'm going to put Soul Calibur 6 in the modern game category because, again, if you can play it like a classic game or find the way to play it, it'd probably be enjoyable. And these games are usually not bad games if you look at it from a standpoint. Let me not do that because you could probably hear that because I keep trying to... I'm going to talk up here, not down here. But anyway, Soul Calibur 6, not my favorite. It's just not my favorite Soul Calibur. It has a lot of issues. I remember people, I can't remember what it's called, the edge mechanic or like the rock, paper, scissors thing. I'm not the biggest fan of that. But you can kind of get over that or get around it. Sometimes you really can't. It's not a great experience, especially compared to other Soul Caliburs on this list. Is this my favorite? Okay, yeah, it's probably my favorite fighting games of all time. And again, there's other Soul Caliburs I would play and enjoy a lot more. Mortal Kombat 2, I did play it. I did own it on Genesis. I used to have a Genesis back in the day. I kind of got a new one now, but that's a personal reason why I lost it to begin with. But it's not a Mortal Kombat game that I really like. However, if I had to pick a classic Mortal Kombat game that I personally would play, it'd probably be Mortal Kombat 2. Again, not really a Mortal Kombat fan like that. So, yeah, that's where that's going to end. Soul Calibur 1. Now, see, here we go. I prefer Soul Calibur 1 over Soul Calibur 2. Now, I know a lot of people are going to cry blasphemy for that. And I do love Soul Calibur 2, don't get me wrong. If there was a Soul Calibur game that just feels right and just has the instant snap feedback and has good graphics and music and a character roster and everything like that, Soul Calibur 1 just puts it literally puts almost everything that the franchise has put out since then to shame. Soul Calibur 2 is really the only game that can match it, in my opinion, and even that, to me, does not match it, right? This was a game that they had in my arcade. They had Soul Calibur 2, but after a while, it just went away. They also had Soul Calibur 3 there, too, but it just kind of... Soul Calibur 1 was the one that was there, so I played that more often than any other ones, and I like it more. I think it's a better game. I've never played the Rumblefish 2, heard of it, played it though. We're just gonna skip real quick. JoJo's, whatever this game is, I like JoJo's part 1 through 3. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Maybe part 4, but after that, we're done. And not even part 4. Like, you can move past that. But it's not even like a real fighting game. It doesn't really feel fun to play. It doesn't really feel very enjoyable to play. This is the one I think it is, where it's like a 2D plus 3D game. I don't like the way they try to mix that mechanic. But going to Rev 2, where'd it go? I'll put Rev 2 in great. I did enjoy Rev. Back at that time, again, I had issues with playing it, but I've, with online friends and whatnot. However, since I've played that game, I don't hate it anymore. I don't actively go back to play it, but I would go back to play it. And honestly, for what it offers, like the tutorial mode, the character designs, the way it revolutionized 3D graphics, like it is definitely a good Guilty Gear game. Again, I would put Plus R above it, but I could see an argument made for Rev being up there too. Right? What's this? Marvel Infinite. It's like the gameplay is really solid. I love the gameplay, but I'd really be capping and or boosting it if I put it up way higher than these other games, because everything else surrounding the game just did not. I'm gonna put it in modern game, mainly because the good gameplay, even some people still have issues with it, but even outside of that, there is some things that the game could have done better, like the roster, or the graphics, or the PR, or the marketing, or the esports, or the support, or the whatever else that really could have saved this game from it being where it is now, right? So as a gameplay, I do like the instant tag, I do like the 2v2, I do like the way that it's light heavy. Certain characters I'm not used to that, but other characters work great. The free flow combos. Like if you want to play a Marvel game that has the closest to the old school Marvel versus combo structure and free flow, Marvel Infinite will probably be the one that's closest to it. But even with that said, it is hard to recommend this game over other games, which I'm assuming other Marvel games are going to be on this list. But I will say, if you play Maximilian's Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Beyond, it can make the game a little bit more enjoyable. Vampire. Oh, speaking of that, we're gonna skip real quick and put in this game at the best. This is probably one of not my favorite versus game. Love this game. It was at the arcade, like I mentioned. The game's free flow combo structure and system balance is... Dude, you can damn near do anything you want to do with any character you want to do in any situation that you want to do if you know how to and you have the execution. This is not exclusive to this old game. It's just out of all the versus games, it's the one I've played the most and or the one that I have the most infinite, like I can do more infinite to understand the combo structure, to try things, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. In that game, more than I can the other games. But outside of that, the presentation, the stages, the music, the sprite work, all of that. Look at the title screen. They don't make a title screen like that no more. That's so cute. Now, back in order, I would put Vampire Savior again. It's a good game. I don't play it often, right? I don't hate it. Out of all the old school Capcom games, I like it. But again, I'd be kind of boosting if I put it in my great, because I haven't really played it a whole lot, but I do like it. Right? I'm not good at it, but again, I do like it. We'll see. It's in between good and great for me, because it is a very iconic game. It is a very good game. It's a very good game, actually. I just don't know a whole lot about it, but I have played it. UMK3, again, I played this one very, very, very briefly. Again, most Mortal Kombat games are going to go here. If I had to pick one, I'd probably play more Mortal Kombat 2. However, I'm not really feeling... Again, I don't know much about it. I'm sure people in the comments are going to tell me which one is great, which one's not great. I don't know. Now, this one I did play. I don't like this game anymore. I love the idea and I love the concept. It could have been great. But if you put characters who Nobody wants to see Batman get his spine ripped out. They just don't, right? No one's gonna want Superman to get his head cut off. They're just not. So putting them against characters where no one's gonna want to see Wonder Woman get blown up from her stomach outward. Okay, didn't want to forget the other one of the Trinity. So when you put those characters against characters that do all those things and more, somebody's gonna get nerfed. Either the DC characters are gonna get ripped apart, which that's just not going to happen, or the Mortal Kombat characters are not going to do what they need to do to make them Mortal Kombat characters, which is what happened, which is why the game, from a presentation standpoint, kind of doesn't work. And then just the gameplay itself, like that one mechanic where you got to knock them down and press the button to hit them as they're falling down, and the combo structure, then you got the one where you zoom in, you do the rock 'em sock 'em. It's not needed for me. Guilty Gear Strive, yet again, guess what? Modern game. You can enjoy Guilty Gear Strive for what it is and what it provides. Ooh, however, based on what it is and what it could be and what it was, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Happy Chaos. I stopped playing the game when Happy Chaos came out, but that is a very interesting character design for sure. I like the graphics. If you can play the game in a certain way, it can work. But again, if you like it, then you like it. Don't let me putting all these games in a certain category say, oh my god, this game is ass. No. If you like the game, then you like it, right? Now, if you want to argue me or debate me about reasons why this game is better than this game or this, that, and the third, that's a different discussion. But if you like these games, just for the fact that they're out, they're new, you can probably play people in it more so than the other games. Ooh. Mortal Kombat again. Oh, well, I never really played it, but it's not a terrible game by today's standards. It's just, to be honest, I never really played Mortal Kombat 1 compared to the other 2 and 3, which I guess I never really played Mortal Kombat 3 either, to be honest. So, Mortal Kombat 1, never played it. I don't like what it stood for. I don't like what it did. I don't like the story. The story mode single-handedly ruined the game for me. There's no way that you're going to say you're doing all this hoopla, all this whatever, to set up that there's a whole new timeline, for you to then bring back that old timeline and then have all the timelines converge as if you didn't already do the timeline shenanigans in Mortal Kombat 9 and Mortal Kombat 11. Like, what are we doing here, man? Then the fact you changed Scorpion to Sub-Zero, that was already over. Now, in terms of like some of the way the moves look in the animation, because I know Noah Flater, that's cool. I like the fact that Noah Flater's working on it, but overall as a game, I'm not a big fan of what they're doing and what they did. Right? Brawlhalla, never played it, I don't really care. It has a lot of guest characters into it, like almost every day. So whatever. Smash Bros. Brawl, it's not a bad game, especially if you look at it from the standpoint of just a Smash game at the time. But if we're talking about gameplay wise, compared to what was before and what was after, nah, it's probably my least favorite one of all the gameplay, just because they actively tried to ruin the competitive aspect, like trying to uphold the casual aspect. That I'm not a fan of. But you talk like the virtual console demos, the way that the music selection, the stage selection, this is like the start of what quote unquote modern Smash would be, right? King of Fighters, I think that's 11, I think. Never played it. Melee, I'm gonna be honest. Melee, if Ultimate is what I like outside the gameplay, Melee is here for what it does in the gameplay. I don't really care about the roster because damn near the whole roster in this game is an Ultimate. But if we're talking about a game, like if I had to make a Smash Ultimate 2, make Smash Ultimate roster with Melee gameplay, that would be damn near perfect. Right? Even though Melee is way difficult, it's not something I'm used to. I'd much rather prefer to play Melee style with a Ultimate roster and Ultimate style with a Melee roster. That makes sense. But like I said, I grew up with this game. I grew up with all the Smash Bros. Games, actually. This is the game I used to have on GameCube. I used to play it. I love the menus and the music and the story mode. Gameplay, again, at the time I was still am more into traditional fighters, but like I said, not a bad game in the slightest. Just not a game I prefer over Smash Ultimate. But personally, Smash Ultimate is probably... If I had to put one Smash game in best, we'll put it... nope, that's not actually... Street Fighter 6, guess where it's going, folks? Modern game. If you watched my Golden Age of Fighting Game video, that was one of the games I put as an example of. Again, the bad game? No. Well, depending on who you ask, you could say yes. I don't think it's a bad game as a game itself, as a fighting game in the modern era. I can't say that. But is it a well-developed fighting game for what fighting games were before and what Street Fighter was before? No. think it does some things well. I think it does other things great, or other things not so great. I'm not the biggest fan of the drive mechanic. I'm not the biggest fan of the story mode. I'm not the biggest fan of the way that they release characters. I'm not the biggest fan of the way that certain mechanics work. Right? But there are some things like the presentation, like the Battle Hub, and other things that are really good. And I think if they were to take this idea and make a more hardcore version of it, like imagine a new Capcom re-release, like Capcom Arcade Classics 1 and 2, CVC 1 and 2, and Marvel Collection, and you put all those games in one package, and the game itself is you making your Battle Hub character run around to different cabinets. You select the game that you want to play on those cabinets, and then you have other sections where you have players teaching you tips, you have players, showcasing how this game is supposed to be played. You can watch old tournaments from that game or whatever. That's just I threw that idea out there. But that's an example of how you take the new mechanic, the new accessibility, and you put old games on top of it. Just a thought, Capcom. I'm just saying. Of course, no. Turbo's not trash. I'm gonna put it in best. I don't play this game often. I don't actively learn this game, but I always go back to it. At some point, this is like the foundation. If you want to know how to play Street Fighter, it's this, Alpha 2, and I'm sure Third Strike is going to be on this list, and that's also in my great games of all time. However, if I had to put one Street Fighter, well, we'll get to that at the end. I won't spoil it, but I like the simplicity of Street Fighter. I love Super Turbo's simplicity compared to modern days. I love how the game itself has a bunch of different system balances where one thing is too good, the other thing's too good, the other thing's too good. Now all those two good things have to come together to try to figure out who is playing and who's what, right? Reeves fireballs are too good, DPs are too good, the walk speed's too good, the throws are too good, everything is too good, but everything is also not good when compared against each other. And there's freedom and abilities and the time and legacy, and for people to come up with new things to this day. I'm sure this year somebody else is going to come up with some new tech nobody else has ever seen. It's going to change the way the game is played. You only get moments like that when the game is able to stay the same, stay alive, stay playable. So this one might go down to great, because I don't want this to be super packed, but we'll see. Rocket Bravery, never played it. I wanted to play it, but never did. I like the fact that Show was in it. I like the fact it's an indie developer. I like the art style. But again, really played it. This KOF 15, I will put KOF 15 in great. I honestly think it's a really good KOF game. I like the accessibility of this game. I like the fact that it still has some classic fighting game design philosophies in it as well. I like the way that the roster works. I like the way the game looks. I know this game was very controversial at times. I know this game had some balancing issues, quote unquote, at times. I know this game did not get a lot of love or success. Most SNK games don't compared to Capcom. But if I had to pick a game that I would put up here, I'll put it here. Same with King of Fighters 98. This is an old school. If I had to pick one of the two KOF games that are new or that are old to learn, probably King of Fighters 98. Matter of fact, where's it at? Boom. Just put all these right here, right? I can't say that I actively learned how to play these games. If I had to pick a KOF game to put in best of all time, I don't know, actually. That's a good question. We'll have to figure that out at the end. I probably was going to say 15 just because it's the game I played the most, and it's really a good blend of the two, but we'll see. Dead or Alive 5. Oh, it's not I'm sorry. It's definitely in great. Mainly because this game is a good example of a modern DOA game that still has good quality and good design. It does suffer from some things as well, right? I don't think it's as good as 2, 3, and 4. I used to think it was better than 3 and 4, but now I'm kind of like they're all very similar, but 5 is just a little bit lower. But it is still a very fun game, and if you play 6 then play 5 back to back, you're going to feel an immediate difference. 5 is going to be, if it was only DOA 5, DOA would have a much better standing, but DOA 6 really knocks it down, right? I like the roster, I like the gameplay. Some of the DLC practices were not great, but a lot of DLC practices in these games are not always the greatest. So again, KO 13, I used to think this game was awful. I don't think so anymore. I think the game's graphics are overrated in some senses. I don't think they're as bad as I used to think they were. I just think that people really glaze his game's graphics and that glazing kind of overshadows what King of Fighters 98 did before, as well as what other games like Capcom or Namco, or I guess in this case Bandai Namco, or other SNK games and things of that nature, right? The other companies make other great looking games, and King of Fighters 13 is not the pinnacle of that, depending on how you look at it, but it is a very good art style. I think the game, when it came out, still now is a little too complex for me. I still got to take some time to really learn it, but in terms of the skills and the things that you got to do, a little too hard for me currently, but I'm sure if I really sat down and figured out how to play it, I could. Or how to do all the super special combos, because again, if you watch my fighting game philosophy video, you don't need any of that to win and to play the game. But if you want to learn all the super special secret combos and all that, that's an avenue you can do on top of that. Fighting Climax, never played it, not for real. I don't really care about it too much. I like the fact that Akira was in it, and I think Pai's in it. And then when I was playing, I did try it once, and I did play Kirito, but I'm not a Sword Art Online fan like that no more, so I don't really care. I don't even know what this game... Wait, is this the... Oh, it's the Capcom one. I think it's good. I don't really know how to play it, but from the little bit I have played here and there, I don't hate it. It's definitely better than anything to me. Because the presentation is... This is what Fighters was before Fighters came out. In terms of presentation, it had the manga panels, it had the different art styles, it had the graphics when it came in. And then Skullgirls also took the idea where it had the round start as soon as the round ends. That's from this game, I believe. Or probably some other games here too. The gameplay, even though I said I don't like using stands in Persona, which I still don't, in JoJo's for some reason, maybe because I just like the JoJo's franchise more, I can kind of get behind it better. I'm not good at it. From what I've seen and I've played, oh no, I'm definitely not good at it. But I can get behind this a little bit better than I can the other one. Now here we go. Boop, 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 boop. Hold on, no. Bam. That is my favorite Tekken game of all time. Tekken 5, dude, that shit clear, bro. Gameplay, characters, the roster, the music, the stages, the presence, the iconography. Man, if you had to tell me pick one Tekken game to represent your Tekken fandom, it's Tekken 5. Now, Tekken 3 is a good game too. I started playing that as well, but I didn't grow up with that the same way I did with Tekken 5 or Tekken 4, right? Tekken 4 was the first game I ever played, but Tekken 5 was a game I always wanted to play. I always wanted to be good at, but never was. But again, that was the game that was in the arcade, so I played more of that. That's the game that a lot of people do. They cite as the beginning of modern Tekken, so like it's in between classic and modern in a sense, but it is still very classic to this day. Like the Tekken 5 is damn near a perfect Tekken game in my opinion. Granted, it still does some things not great, and this is Dark Resurrection, by the way, not normal Tekken 5. But yeah, if there was ever a Tekken game, like if you were to ask me to bring back once, like take it seriously and like really learn how to play it, it'd be Dark Resurrection. Second place, if it's here. Oh shit, Tekken 5 is there. Ah! Well, we'll just do all the Tekkens now because we're talking about it. You know what? This is best. Fuck it. It's my list. Who cares, right? If there was ever a Soul Calibur game that I wouldn't put in one, if I could only put one, I put one. But since I can do whatever I want, it's my list. I'm putting 2 up here too because 2 is too iconic. It has too much going for it. The gameplay is very similar to 1, I believe. Again, I am not super deep into the competitive Soul Calibur bag like that. But out of all the Soul Calibur games I've ever played, 1 and 2 are the best ones, which admittedly are the ones without character customization and guest. I know it has guest characters. I take that part back. It was actually the game that started the guest character craze, so you know. So Tekken 7, again, I don't hate the game. This is actually probably the Tekken game that I played the most that got me into the competitive Tekken scene, and then I used that experience to then go explore back down. Like I started with 4 and 5 and 6 and Tekken. Like I played them that way, and I went to 3, 2, 1. But anyway, point is, Tekken 7 was the beginning of how I explored Tekken as a competitive game. So for that alone, and I put a lot of time and a lot of effort into learning how to play Tekken 7, right? So I think it's a good Tekken game. Is it my favorite? No. Is it the best? There's an argument to be made there, right? But I'm still playing Tekken 5 over that one. I think I'm gonna have a rule where I have 2 games per franchise in the top, but we'll get there when we get there. Tekken 6, it's grown on me. It's grown on me a lot. I actually think it's a great Tekken game based on what I've heard about the franchise and how 3D is played and development history. I used to think it was ass, right? But now that I've played it again recently, and like I said, looked more into it, it's not bad. I actually like it a lot. I like the stages, I like the music, I like the characters. Balance, again, you can argue, but again, I'm okay with that. But yeah, overall solid Tekken game, solid experience. Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Now, admittedly, it's going to be in the same place that Marvel Infinite is in, but it's just not much, right? It had a great idea, had a great presentation, had good ideas. So the gem, you could just never use gems and I'd be okay, right? That's Strike 1. Strike 2 was the Pandora. That shit was awful. Strike 3 was the DLC. That kind of killed the game, right? So if you play the game, you can't even damn near play the game now. It's so hard to play the game, honestly. That's another problem. But if you do get the chance to play said game, then it is a game that it works better when it's outside of its initial release, right? Like if you play the game in 2026, it's probably going to be a much better experience than when it was 2012. Okay, let's just be honest. So for that reason alone, I don't play the game actively, but when I did the return, the remix, this game is good. Can't say great. I do think Street Fighter V now is better than Cross Tekken. I don't know. We'll come back to that. But I don't really play Grand Blue. I don't really care. But that's actually not true. I have played this game. It's an eh. Again, was not the biggest fan. I don't really care. I like some of the ideas, but there's other games I can play that do that. I don't really know the franchise, so I have no reason to play it like that. And there's other fighting games I would play. Matter of fact, put the shit in modern game. To be fair. Third Strike, let's not even kid ourselves here. Let's not do it. Matter of fact, that right there, all day. The best Street Fighter game, hands down. It's either this between this and Alpha 2 for me. Right? Which means I should probably put Super Turbo in Great. Just because I prefer Alpha 2 and Third Strike way more than I do Street Super Turbo. Super Turbo's still a good game. Just everything. The music, the gameplay, the system, the presentation. Like everything about Third Strike, for the most part, is really solid, really strong, it's really well crafted. And honestly, there's a lot of things that this game could do that it doesn't do, that it doesn't need to do, because the game is still that pure without. It's such a good game. It's such a good game that Street Fighter 6 is trying to be the new age Street Fighter 3, and depending on how you feel about it, it's succeeding, and in other ways it's not. Rivals of Aether, is that not? It's the same thing. Okay, we don't need that. Project M, never played it. Heard a lot about it. It's trying to do the same thing. Not the biggest fan. Injustice, guess what? I don't fuck with it. I don't like Injustice. I don't care for it. I don't care about it. Not really my thing. My dog is waking up, so I'm gonna have to make this a little bit faster. I don't like the story mode. I'm not the biggest fan of Mortal Kombat style games. It's not trash because it's not that bad, but I really don't care about it. Marvel 2. Let's not kid ourselves here. Best in the Marvel 2 is Marvel 2. Whatever I said about Third Strike, you can really apply it to Marvel 2. The movement, the gameplay element, the system balance. The character balancing is not great. It's not. But within that not great character balance becomes a lot of different ways to express yourself, even within the shitty character balance. Right? Spider-Man sucks. You can make Spider-Man look really cool if you know how to play the game. Magneto's great. If you know how to play the game, you make Magneto look godlike. Sentinel, Storm, Cable, Cyclops. Cyclops sucks on his own, but you would never know that because most people play him in a certain way. But if you know how to play Cyclops in a different way, you can make him really shine. Like I said, I'm not trying to spend all day, all night talking about these games, right? That's a different. Okay, anyway, so don't know if you can hear that or not. Okay, we already got Rev 2. Don't really need that again. I think that Street Fighter 4 in my opinion is better than Street Fighter 5, right? Street Fighter 5 now is closer to what Street Fighter 4 was. Street Fighter 4 when it came out was phenomenal. Now granted, that was the game where I was like, oh, modern games suck. I'm gonna go back to the older games instead. This idea for me is not new. It's just the modern games now are not even having good quality. Then again, that's a whole different discussion. We can make that's a whole different thing, right? As I'm thinking about it, a whole different thing. But again, the character roster, music, gameplay, the online features. This game is just really, it does a lot of things right, especially when you go forward and see what Street Fighter has become. It's not as great, but you know what? Honestly, I think Super Turbo is better than. You know what? Okay. I know how we're gonna do this. I know exactly how we're gonna do this going forward. Okay, Rev 2, we already did that. Now, I personally think that Virtua Fighter 5 is probably the best game in the franchise. I love Virtua Fighter. Speaking of Virtua Fighter, the other one I would put up here in the best is, hold on, where'd it go? Virtua Fighter 4. Virtua Fighter 4 and 5 are some of my favorites in the entire franchise, right? Put them two together. Because Virtua Fighter 4 is what started it with the gameplay, the tutorial mode, the graphics, the music, the customization, the stages. Everything in that game is damn near perfect. And then Virtua Fighter 5 said, you know what, we're just going to do that again, but a little bit more refined. Now, I remember playing Virtua Fighter 5 in 2005 or 6 before Street Fighter 4 even came out. That's what I'm telling you. Like, I've been doing this fighting game thing for a long time, across a bunch of different games. Virtua Fighter 5, not necessarily specifically that version, because this is all the versions to me, but Virtua Fighter 5 is a really well-made game, really well crafted. And it keeps the old school spirit alive in the modern age by essentially just being the old school game, just literally put a new title on the sticker, or put a new sticker on the title. That's it. Which, honestly, that's okay. Because you're going to have Virtua Fighter 6 be the whole new game, and that's going to be what it's going to be. Right? Like I said, we're damn near approaching an hour, so I'm not trying to keep y'all this long. I already did that. Under Night, I played it. I don't hate, it's a good game. Is this Uniclear or I don't know. We'll just put this in good. I don't hate the game. I like the game from when I played it, but there's other games I would play over it. And to be completely honest, yeah, we'll put that over here. Okay, no, I don't want to be biased either, so we'll come back and we'll run through. I think Tekken 4. This is the inverse of Marvel Infinite and Cross Tekken. I think that everything surrounding this game is way better than the actual gameplay itself. I think the graphics are amazing. I think the music is. Everybody uses the beach stage or Authentic Sky in their videos, so the music is iconic. I do like the atmosphere. This is whenever you see people talk about the PlayStation 2 atmosphere or Namco atmosphere or that kind of style of game, they talk about Tekken 4. So that alone sells that. Now, the gameplay itself, it tried to do the whole modern thing back then. It didn't really work then. So what makes you think it's going to work now? That's a whole different discussion. Again, this is the first Tekken game I ever played. I think this is probably Jin's best outfit. Top 3. It's not 2. Or it's not 3. And yeah, honestly, I think as a gameplay, it's not better than any other Tekken game. I think Tekken 2 and 1 are worse than this, but they're not on this list. So, out of all the quote-unquote Tekken games you would play from 3 onward, this is probably one of the weaker ones gameplay-wise, but the other games that are weaker than it are not on this list. So, Tag 2, I have a really, really bad personal reason why I don't play or like this game. I'm trying to get over that. I'm not going to get into it here. But when I was playing it, it was fun, but everybody hated the game. Everybody didn't like the game, and I didn't like the game after a while. But now, revisionist history is dictating that everybody loves this game, that people were stupid, that this game has great balance and all this, and they don't like Tekken 8. So it's really like the Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 5 problem, where it's like, I'm okay with you not liking the modern game. What I'm not okay with is everybody forgetting or acting like they did not say what they said about this game to then lead us to the direction that we are in right now. There's no reason to act like people didn't say Tag 2 sucked, or that Tag 2 balance is better than 8. No. If you want to say I changed my opinion, or it's, that's one thing. But I don't like the revisionist history with old to new games. Like I said, now Tekken 3, I'm gonna admit, it's a great game. Again, I didn't grow up with it. as much. But out of all the old games I played, it's actually a lot better than I gave it credit for. I could see somebody putting an argument to make it the best, right? If I had to pick one of the Tekken games that I haven't put in best, probably put Tekken 3 over Tag 1. But again, we'll figure that out later. Marvel 1. This is probably my first fighting game of all time. I think I like Marvel 2 better, Marvel Superheroes better, but I would be wrong if I said that Marvel 1 was a bad game. The presentation is damn near iconic, if not already iconic. This cover art, you've seen people homage this so many times. The sprites, the stages, the music, everything about this game is really good. The assist mechanic I do not like, though. I'm not a big fan of that, but you gotta try something new sometimes. I already did Rev 2. Injustice 1 is in the same spot as Injustice 2. Actually, I never played Injustice 2, I take it back. I never played Hokuto no Ken seriously. However, I will put it in the good to great category. I can't put it any higher because I haven't actively played it, but I do love some Fist of the North Star, and it is the representative of old school Kusage games. And it does have some cool mechanics, and I do like seeing them on display. So, even though I've never played it, I played it a little bit, and I would put it up here. And Fighting X Layer, I do have it. I don't hate it, but I don't prefer it either. It's the same problem as Bad Power Rangers, but worse. If you know how to dial up and dial in your movement and your combos, the game's great. But if you don't, and this is a game I never really played, but I do want to start playing it because it is a classic Virtua Fighter game. I'm gonna put it in good. Yeah, because I don't think the graphics are good in this game. I prefer this over that. Now, if you guys give me a second, I'm gonna take some time to. Alright, let's see. Two rows. For the most, but the only one I put up here, probably put that up here. I put that up here. Put these here. Anyway, actually, wait, hold on. Let's just make a new thing called duplicate. There we go. So let's see. Is there anything from here I would put up here, and is there anything from up here I'd put up here? Best. I do want a KOF game in the best. So you know what? Put that up here. Should put a Smash game up here. And if I'm being honest, I think I like this one more than that. Already got Dead Away game up there. I probably put 2 Tekken games up there. I already bought 2 Street Fighter games up there. 2 Marvel games up there. 2 Virtua Fighter games up there. I need another Tekken game. And if I had to pick, like I said, I'd probably pick Tekken 3 before I pick Tekken Tag 1 up there. Yeah, I think that. Wait. I didn't put a KOF game up there, right? I'd probably put KOF 15 up there, honestly. And then I don't have another DOA game, so we'll put that up there. This is the only other one that's here. And then yeah, I think that's. I guess I could put. You know what? Oh, I don't really prefer 13. I don't know. Between these two, I don't want to just put things up here because they should be here. So if I'm going off of that, we'll just keep it there for now. Yeah. Well, with that being said, y'all, I appreciate you for watching the video. This is, again, another unscripted one. I apologize. If this comes out before the next one I have planned, that one should be scripted. And if this comes out after the scripted one, well, then you've seen what it looks like when I have a script. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this kind of just walk through my process, so to speak. And always remember, live with style and substance, turn pain into power, and also 1% today equals 100% tomorrow. I, Alex Lovehall, the Fighting Gamer, I will see you all in the next round.